and always Mondays and Tuesdays are our heaviest days, where we had over 100 new pending transactions.
Wow.
First time in a year. So I'm hoping that means things are starting to move in the right direction. There's no question the market has clearly started off slower this year than it did last year. The weather's not helped us at all. We'll dive into some of that stuff, but Brooke, you put together a video. I love the inspiration, motivation. I don't know if this is, I have no clue what we're getting here. So roll this thing,
Okay.
Boom, boom, boom. You put this together, right, Brooke?
Yes. Copyright.
Virgin, you get that like
I got a feeling that tonight's gonna be a good night. 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 Tonight's the night. Let's live it up. I got my money. Let's spin it up. Go out and smash it. Like, oh my God. Jump out that sofa. Let's kick it on. I know that we'll have a ball. Get down, go out and just do it all. Feel right now, I won't let it go. Let's go way out, face out, losing all control. Fill up my cup, lungs on top. Look at her dancing, just take it off. Let's make it town, we'll shut it down.
Signs of being all in your real estate career. And think about this, because you hear it all the time. The first sign is not apologizing for being in real estate. An example of this is that thousands of agents, when asked, what do you do for a living? They answer like this: I'm in real estate, but I used to be an engineer. They're essentially saying, I'm not all in. I'm still living in the past. The second sign is you attend training, you're coachable, and you're evolving. I know many agents who have 30 years real estate experience, but unfortunately, they've been experiencing the same thing for 30 years and therefore haven't evolved. Our culture has always been about continuous improvement.
Sometimes I get a good feeling, yeah. I get a feeling that I never had before. No, I get a
Okay. I just want to say thank you to the Sunshine Kids for giving me this opportunity. I attended the Carolina Fun Time trip with Lainey, and what did I say? I'm so sorry. California. And I remember going home like, wow, that was a once in a lifetime opportunity. So the fact that y'all reached out to me again to be a spokesman, I'm really thankful for that. So thank you.
I've been a part of 2 Chicago trips, and ever since then, you guys have done absolutely everything to make me feel like cancer hasn't taken away everything, and I felt like a kid again, and I just want to say thank you for all the work that you guys do to make us feel like we are just kids living our life. Thank you.
I was lucky enough to go on the Chicago trip and the Orlando trip this past year, and without you guys, I wouldn't have been able to go, and I would have never met Jessica, who's now one of my closest friends. We met on Chicago, and then I got to go visit her in Chicago in December, and we FaceTime every single day. But But without you guys, like, these trips are seriously the best trips of our lives, and we just get to be kids again and have so much fun. Like, on Orlando, I got to go to a water park, and I wasn't able to go swimming or anything while I was sick because of my port and just risk of infection, and that was the best part of my whole trip, was just getting to swim again and be a kid, and without you guys, that wouldn't be possible. So I just want to say thank you so much, because you guys are the best.
Amazing kids are able to meet other kids that are going through the same battle at Sunshine Kids events. These kids right here. I got to meet them before. I got this bracelet. I'm not gonna. Do you want to tell them what it means? Oh, not appropriate. It's not appropriate. So we're gonna keep that to me and her, okay? But I'm just excited because the foundation actually provides lots of fun things and activities for these kids to just be kids and enjoy their lives as they fight.
Our top network office honoree. At number 1, 9,200 closed residential units. Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices and
Who attended, we had 120 some people attend convention. Raise a hand, who attended convention in here? Good chunk of you. Whose was first convention for you? So, I felt it was a great experience. Sunday night, we always put together a little cocktail appetizer event, and I love that, because what happens is I've heard so many people say that, we're all here working in the same space for the most part, but they got to know people on a much more meaningful basis and to know a little bit more about them, just talking to different people that you see walk down the hall, but you don't really talk to here. And we should really, I always tell people, when you go to the convention, you should leave with a sense of pride, because nobody gets recognized more than we do from Omaha. Number 1 office in units, which we always expect. Number 1 office in gross commission income, which we never know about, because the average sales price in California and other markets is just so crazy high compared to ours. But I think one of the biggest ones is number 1 in Sunshine Kids. And what was sad is the best speech, Carrie, Shannon, Ashley, I think you guys would all agree that we didn't get recorded, was 2 kids and then an 3 ex-kids that all had artificial legs. 2 of them had won gold medals in the Olympics for
Snowmobiling.
not snowmobiling, snowboarding.
Snowboarding.
And the speeches that they gave pretty much brought tears to every single person in the house, and everyone's like, oh my God, please tell us you recorded that. And the reason I bring that up is we were number 1 by like $50,000. We raised last year $367,000 for these kids. But when you listen to them speak, you talk to them one-on-one, I mean, these 2 kids said it literally changed their life. That they were down, they were depressed, and when they went to Sunshine Kids, it started giving them a self-esteem and started bringing them back to the real world. And all of a sudden, the one guy said, I never snowboard, I became passionate about it, and the next thing you know, the guy wins a gold medal a number of years later. But their confidence is built, they build friendships and relationships they never would have before. And so we're going to continue to do these type of things to help these kids, because it makes a real meaningful difference in their life. So be proud of what we've accomplished. And we won't do one this year, but we're going to have Todd here. Is Todd Moss here? Todd's going to be doing his golf thing, so let's support him on that. Fred, we're working right now on buying a house that we're going to flip, that anybody wants to kind of show that. We're going to use this as twofold. I'm going to put the money into this. 100% of the proceeds, and Fred's getting a lot of, it sounds like, people to volunteer time, materials, and so forth. We're hoping to raise $50,000 plus on this. We'll show you how to go in and flip a house and what you need to do. So it'll be both an experience to help us learn on the investment side of things, right? Right. But we're going to also raise hopefully a whole lot of money for the kids. So we want to continue to do more exciting things like that. But I don't love Vegas. You kind of get lost, and even if you're just in Caesars, when I first went to Vegas right out of college, For $5, man, you could eat and drink for a long time. $5 doesn't, you can't even walk into a building now, I don't think. People are complaining it's $20 a drink, it's expensive. Nashville, those of you who have not been to Nashville is a cool town. I've only been there once before. I'd love to have 150 plus of us down at Nashville next year. Gino wants us to get 10,000 people. I said, why don't we aim for 7,500 people? But it's going to be a cool experience. If you've not went, I really would strongly encourage you to talk to some of those who have went, those who went for the first time, and I'd love to have a huge attendance down there. So, Heather, are you going to introduce Jason? Isn't it Jason?
I can.
Sit down. She doesn't want to. She doesn't like when I call her out. Jason is going to spearhead our new lending stuff. He's going to introduce the loan officers we have on site and talk a little bit, and then we're going to dive into the panels here. We've got 10 people that are going to be here for the takeaways on convention. Shoot away, Jason.
So real quick, thank you for giving us a couple minutes today. There's a did you know kind of on your chair. The first did you know is did you know you had a mortgage company? So did you know you had a mortgage company? Because you do. And so we're Home Services Lending. I'm Jason Froelich. We have Nicole Johnson, who is out of the Papillion office. Levi Suckup just started here, so you're starting to see Levi. He's actually just around the corner here, and Courtney Baldino is here and down the street as well. And so we're Home Services Lending. We're about to go through a change. You guys are familiar with change, I understand, here in the market. So we're actually merging with a sister company. We're going to be Prosperity Mortgage here in a few weeks. But we're Home Services Lending right now. Same thing, same principle. We're here to help you sell more houses. The bottom line here, we're a resource for you. We do mortgage financing. We've got all the programs, all the products, conventional, FHA, VA, all that fun stuff. But what we do best is really help you take your buyer through a really good home buying experience, because we have found in our different markets and throughout the country and that sort of thing that a buyer doesn't necessarily separate the home buying process from the home financing process. It's all the same. So if you have a lousy home financing process, when you're representing the buyer, they tend to have a lousy buying process, right, overall. And so our job and what we build the company around is really to work with you, to work with your customer, make sure that they have the best home buying experience they possibly can. So here's your team. You're going to see a lot more of us in the next few weeks. And Vince, thank you for giving us
Absolutely.
support.
And we're already situated. A couple of you are situated here in the second and third floors that we're situated, moving around the building.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you guys. I appreciate it. Text me back and said, if you find someone better than me, you can let them do that. I've been okay with that. It won't hurt my feelings. I'm like, you're showing up. You're showing up. So first time. Who was the first time though? So we'll start with you first, Chelsea. What was your biggest takeaway just from the vibe and the event in and of itself?
Is this on?
It's on.
Okay. I just blew it. I love it. I would say the biggest takeaway, probably overall, like education aside, was just getting to hang out with a lot of agents that I don't normally hang out with. I definitely think that I got like a great new kind of core group of friends out of it. Maybe drank just a little too much, but it was just nice to network with people from Omaha, but in a different city. So.
Yes. Nico, your biggest takeaway?
Probably my biggest takeaway was just realizing how big of a powerhouse the Omaha office is. Oh, I'm still, gotcha. No, I mean, it was just ridiculous. You would expect, brokerages in California and Texas with higher selling prices to, kind of dominate the market. That wasn't the case. After the second day walking back from the convention, there's these two guys from Texas in front of me, and they're reflecting over the convention. All of a sudden, one guy goes, "What the hell are they doing down in Omaha?" So,
first of all, it's up in Omaha.
Texas,
probably why he's a little confused.
Thanks, Ralph. Appreciate it. So
Ralph, tell you this house.
Down, up, left, right. I think that was probably my biggest takeaway there.
Yeah, Julie.
I loved Gino's speech. I agree with the powerhouse, and just to see the enthusiasm, the passion, and the just the intention that they have going forward was just really inspiring. It truly is a great company to be associated with. I was just so impressed.
Yeah, I had a lot of people, those of you who've been in the past, they didn't go this year, Gino's now moved on. He's chairman of the network, but he's the CEO, took over Ron Peltier's job of home services, overlooking everybody. And then Chris Stewart took over Gino's job as CEO of the network. And I had a couple people even texting me. I know Shannon did, and some others said later, you know, we used to have Gino speak, before that Earl Lee speak, and then, what was the person's name? Shannon, yell it out to me. It's not Chris Stewart, but before him, I can't remember. But he was Stephen, thank you. Stephen Phillips, nice guy, but he was an operations guy. He was an accounting guy. He would get up there and he would speak, and then, you know, like 10 minutes later, I'm looking around, everyone's falling asleep, right? And to see the passion, to this point, to see the passion, right, and the energy and the excitement that comes from Chris and from Gino, I think the whole event was better because of that. I mean, it was just contagious, I felt, throughout that entire thing. So it's cool. We've got the right leaders in place, heading us in the right direction right now, so that was cool. Your biggest takeaway?
So I think mine was that everyone should just go. Like Vince said, it's like the passion there is amazing, and everyone should just don't make excuses. It's only 2.5 days. Everyone should just go to it. I think it's amazing, and you come back inspired. So that's probably my best takeaway.
Best takeaway?
Well, I've got a lot.
Well, give me your one best takeaway. Did I ask for a lot of takeaways? Real estate agents, this is how they listen, right?
Mine are fun takeaways, though, because...
Well, good. Give us some
well,
fun.
before I left, I said, I wonder who's going to fall this year. Because somebody always falls, you know, so that was fun. And somebody will fall, but I won't say their name. So there is a lot of alcohol consumption, and it's really fun. What's really cool, though, is that you get to wear these badges with your name on them, and you have to wear this everywhere. You can't get in. You see, I have one little bitty thing on mine. You know, Vince looks like a peacock. His is fanned out with number one this, number one that. A lot of people in here have fanned out ones, but that's really fun. There was a speaker named Allison Levine this year, and she's climbed all 7 summits, and she got on her biggest climb, Mount Everest, obviously. The things that she said to us about ego and how you have to have an ego to be in business, even though that seems arrogant, the way she described it that I really liked is, who do you want on your team? Do you want the one, and I'll just use real estate as an example, do you want the one that's going to go, gosh, I never get any listings, you know, all I do is try and never get them? Well, like Allison says, you only want people around you that, hey, I'm getting that listing. You know, you have to be positive, you have to go for what you want, you have to know that you're going to do it. You want people around you that are going to be in that same frame of mind.
You got to believe in yourself.
You got to believe in yourself, yeah, and you can't just be negative Nelly and say, oh, well, maybe I can do it, we'll see. You have to be positive and say, I can do it. And she used that in an example as climbing Mount Everest. She said she had the best team climbing with her because she didn't want somebody on her team to get up to, you know, the 3rd stage of the climb and go, I'm done, let's go back. You know, everybody on the team had to have the same frame of mind. We're going to do this, let's do it, go team, you know. And so she did. She's climbed all 7 summits. She was probably the most dynamic speaker I've ever heard. I mean, wouldn't you agree?
She was very good. And she also said there's a second part of that ego, which is the team ego. So you've got to have a team.
Right.
You have to have an ego, believe in yourself, and that you can accomplish anything you want. But you also have to have a team ego where it's bigger than just you, and that you've got to be part of something that can help encourage and help everyone else.
Yeah, she called them performance egos in. She says you can't control the environment, but all you can control is the way that you react to it. So her book is called On the Edge, and I did get the book because I really liked her, and I've already started reading it. It's a good read if you want to get it. On the Edge. She's amazing. She was in pharmaceuticals and Wall Street before she started climbing, and now she's a motivational speaker, and she speaks all over. But she's just fantastic. That was my biggest takeaway.
Cool. So of the general sessions, that was my next question. She kind of go bigger. Of the general sessions, one of you volunteered. What was your biggest takeaways, and who was your favorite speaker up there?
I can't say that. I thought one of the best.
See, you're smart. Speak first, because then someone else takes your stuff.
But they talked about the disruptors and Zillow's and you're only going to feel disruption if you allow disruption. If you stray from your systems and your intentions and your focus. They just really honed in on making sure you're doing what you need to do. And then Ann Townsend reminded me of the, where 100 million leads were sold to agents last year, and only 5 million homes were sold. So the resale, your intentions have to be with your own sphere and your own business plan, and stick to that. That was, I would say, one of the things.
Furthermore, we as an industry bought 100 million leads, right? We've talked about this in a sales meeting before. We as an industry only sold 5 million houses. Of those 100 million leads, there's only 1% capture rate. So only 1 million of those 100 million leads are turning into a sell. We need to keep that in perspective. The second part of that, which is a big part, is we talk about, and it's a hot thing in every CEO meeting I go to, disruptors, is that why do we let them distract us? If we don't let them distract us and we stay focused on what we're doing, right, which is building and nurturing relationships, we're going to be more successful. All these other people get sidetracked because of the distractions of the disruptors. Fair? Yes, someone else. At the general sessions, what was your biggest takeaway?
Honestly, that was mine. I don't really remember much else because the numbers. I mean, Elvis was pretty cool. Michael Jackson was pretty fun too.
Yeah, we had Sharon Michael Jackson there, guys.
Elvis was there. That was fun.
And there were people that actually thought she was real, just so you know.
Yeah.
I had people like, Sharon's here!
So, top takeaway in general sessions from either one of you guys down there.
I would say, let's see, Randy Zuckerberg.
Yes, Mark's sister.
Yeah. She was big on, like, she's like the one that created Facebook Live, which I didn't know.
Yeah.
So that was kind of fun to know. She said just own it, like own yourself, believe in yourself. When you walk into a room, if you believe in yourself, you're going to be a lot better than if you walk into the room and are doubtful of yourself or not feeling confident. So even if you're not feeling confident, just put on that fake face and own it and believe in yourself.
Yes.
Cameron? She just kind of said mine about being confident. Like as I'm younger, it's kind of hard to walk into someone that's a lot older in a listing appointment and they're going to trust you. So I just learned, you have to be really confident, assumptive, and stuff like that.
Perfect. As we head into the university sessions, who was your favorite one or two?
The book.
Favorite one or two university breakout sessions, and your top takeaways from that. So anybody who wants to volunteer first? Julie was raising her hand, so dive in it.
Katie Lance, she did a great job with social media and marketing, and she said don't be a drive-by liker. You get on Facebook and you just keep hitting like, that connects you with people, and that's be intentional about your comments to people and sincere. You should time block for social media and plan ahead so that you're not scrambling and saying, oh, I haven't posted anything in a week, and get in there. And put on your videos all captioning, because your videos are kind of lost on a lot of people if you don't have captioning. And rev.com is a service that will put text on your videos. And then
was she the one that talked about emojis in titles of emails and Facebook?
Yes. Yep. If you put emojis in your subject line,
you'll have a 59% higher open rate.
You should batch your content. Like have Fun Friday, Market Update Monday, Wednesday Wisdom. Do video blasts. Keep your posts authentic. A lot of them talked about that. I know we can obsess about making sure it looks professional and that the dialogue is scripted, and they were saying that is absolutely not the right direction you should go. Look at the Kardashians, right?
Being real.
Yeah, being real. Like don't even have your, don't be dressed up even if you're just happen to be doing something and you feel like doing a video. People like it better when you're yourself and you're not in your perfect mode. They want you to be, they do. Yeah, they just want you to, and they even kind of like it when you screw up on the video or you kind of, but my takeaway from that is Facebook Live is huge right now, and especially from that class, she does tremendous things with Facebook Live, so that's where
Was she one of the ones saying even if you're just doing a greeting back video to text, go into a bathroom or step aside out of a party, it doesn't really even matter where you are or what you look like. If you're coming out of the gym, just do a quick introduction of yourself and shoot that off in a text.
And it doesn't have to be real estate.
Right.
Just keeping your name out there.
I'm going to add on just because I have katielance.com/content grid. That actually is like about a 10-page packet that you're going to get.
Let's go ahead and share all this. Let's make sure we write this stuff down, and we'll share this out with everybody, okay?
And she sent it to us, all of us in the class got the copy.
Yep. So anyways, it's like a 10-page PDF, and it kind of breaks down like a whole quarter of social media posts. So if you're sitting there going, I have no clue what to say on social media today, just go through that packet and you're going to be inspired. It's got a lot of really good data in there.
Do you have an additional class that you went to that you thought was valuable?
I do. I went to the How to Get a Yes at Every Listing presentation. That class also...
Who taught that?
Debbie Holloway.
Okay.
Yep. That class, I took away a lot about video. Well, after you leave the listing presentation, first of all, go to the listing presentation, own it. Use, let's see, what did she say here? Embedded commands or suggestions. So use a lot of we's. When we get together, when we start marketing your home, after we sell your home, use a lot of those words. Once you leave the home, do your little video thank you in your car. In your car down the street, like, hey, it was great to meet you, you know, a little bit of a rundown of how the meeting went, if there was any notes you took of like projects that need to happen or things like that, and text and email that to them as well.
Perfect.
I went to, his name is Michael Rosenblum. He's from Chicago, top agent there. And he said something that stuck with me was, be your broker's broker. And at first I didn't know what it meant. But what he said is, be the agent that you would hire to do your listing or your buy. So don't like cut corners, just go 100% for your clients, always. Like just be the agent that you would want to use.
Any other takeaways from that?
Videorama, WordSwag, Canva. She gave us a whole list of stuff to use
Okay.
to do these. Huh?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Is there anyone that you came back and implemented?
Well, and I did a video after I got back. Yeah, on my Facebook I did. Yeah.
Nico,
I got a listing.
who did you go see?
I don't remember her name, but I swear I was there. It was about Instagram marketing, which I knew, a lot of us do a lot of Facebook marketing. I wasn't too familiar with Instagram marketing, so I thought I'd take that for a spin. She was really all about organic posts and not spending money and utilizing free websites and resources, which I found kind of interesting. And I'll run through this really quick, but she said 67% of all real estate searches begin with location. So anytime you post a listing, you should always do the hashtag where it's at Elkhorn, Exarban, South Omaha, things like that. Always have real estate somewhere in your username on Instagram too, because people can search you by that. You'll pop up a lot more, so like Omaha Realtor, things along that line. You can use up to 30 hashtags on Instagram, but she recommends using 9. She thinks that's about the sweet spot, and using about an 80-20 to popular to unpopular hashtags. So again, if it's like an acreage, hashtag acreage, things like that. But what got interesting is she talked about a website called Linktree, and what this is a website that you can, like a link that you can post on your Instagram that will go to multiple different websites. So say you have like a blog or different listings or open houses, you can post this one link to your Instagram page, and you can constantly change it without having to change the link to, and it'll always go to the same landing page, and it's really easy to utilize, and it's free, which she really liked too. She talked about for every $100,000 you want to make, you should add about 2,800 people to your CRM contact. So it kind of gives you a basis of where to start. Organic posting, if you link up your business Instagram page with your business Facebook page and you post from your Instagram page to your business Facebook page, you'll automatically get more views on your Facebook page, just both owned by Facebook. So if you post something on your business Instagram page, and you can automatically, like when you post on Instagram, you can share it to your Facebook page right away. By doing that, you'll get a lot more organic reaches than just posting strictly to Facebook. That is because Facebook owns Instagram, and you're utilizing both of their social media platforms. So the algorithms recognize that. So another way to reach more people organically, just little things here and there that help, I think, tremendously. She talked about Instagram TV. I don't know if it's kind of a little bit newer. It's one of the fastest growing forms of marketing. So I think that's about it. Oh, if you have multiple accounts, so say if you have like 2 Instagram accounts, a couple Facebook accounts, a LinkedIn account, there's a website that you can go to and you can sign all of your accounts in. So when you post something on one, it'll automatically post it across the board. So you don't have to do that. So just ways to stay in touch with people.
I heard a lot of that we think social media, we think Facebook, but there's this natural tendency right now and trend of starting to utilize other social media things, and Instagram probably is the hottest one of those. So we need to make sure that we start embracing those And almost every one of those people were talking about video in their conversations.
I think one thing people don't use is Snapchat. I actually do a lot of that, and I picked up quite a few clients from that.
How do you utilize that?
Like when I'm showing a house, if there's something cool or unique about it, I just put it on there, put it on my Instagram, and just say, hey, check out this really cool like fireplace or like tile wall or something like that.
You put it on your Instagram and your Snapchat?
Yep.
Okay.
You can. I put it on my Snapchat story, and then I need to like look into it more because I don't really know how to use it as well as I should. But I picked up quite a few clients from it. Like when I'm showing condos, like there was a really cool one over Midtown Crossing, and I picked up a $500,000 buyer from it.
Got it. So we have events outside of this. We have a cocktail reception. We have our event on Sunday night at an off-site place. We have the concert in this case, or there's always a comedian. Can you talk about the entertainment and just maybe the networking that takes place there, or your top takeaways from that? Any of you? What did you enjoy about that?
I didn't think I was going to know any Gwen Stefani songs. I know that. And I was like, oh man, I don't know if I want to go. And I think I knew all of them but one. And thank you, Deb Sisek, for those floor tickets, man. That was awesome. She gave me some tickets, and we were right up on the stage. It was.
Well, now you got 100 other people pissed off at Deb.
I know.
Yeah, next time I think you have to buy more tickets.
Yeah, no, that was awesome. But, yeah, it was like amazing. I don't know if anybody else liked it, but I thought it was great.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah, I also, thanks for the floor tickets.
Yeah,
I-
yeah,
I-
that's right, about the floor tickets, yeah.
I was in the right place at the right time. They said there was one ticket left, and I was like, yeah, that's me. So yeah, I was inches from Gwen Stefani. It was pretty great. It was awesome. Actually, I looked over to the right at one point in time. I'm from Las Vegas. I don't know if you guys know that. But a good friend of mine from Las Vegas was literally inches to my right. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. So yeah.
And the energy level was just awesome, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Your guys' top takeaways from the events and the networking?
I would just say getting to socialize with people outside of the office. You know, we do deals together. We see each other around the office, but being out at a bar or hanging out, going ziplining at 2 in the morning, things like that. I mean, it's just a ton of fun. So you get to know everyone more on a personal level.
Hey, seriously, we are big stuff in Omaha. Like when people see our badges that you wear, Omaha, what do you do? What do you guys do in Omaha? Right?
Yeah.
And I hope this doesn't sound bad, but it was such a professional looking group too. It didn't look like a bunch of people that just came off the farm. I mean, everybody just looked and they looked so polished.
She must have been looking at all the other companies.
And everybody just took it very professionally, and this is something we're invested in growing and making better. And it was really a cool atmosphere.
Yeah, the entertainment is absolutely amazing, and next time I'm definitely bringing comfier shoes.
And you know the entertainment's gonna be great in Nashville. So I don't know yet. We'll find out. So guys, I'm gonna get our next 5 up here. Let's give these guys a big hand. So again, first time. So the two of you, we'll start with you. What was your biggest, just general takeaway as your first time going to conventions? Bill, we'll start with you and then go to Rich.
I think probably echoed from what we heard earlier was with Omaha on our name badge, we had built-in credibility. I was looking for a place to sit and eat, and there was a group that said, "Hey, Omaha, get over here, Omaha, sit with us, Omaha." So I thought that was pretty cool. You know, we were celebrities before we even got there, no matter what our profession was.
If you're from Omaha, you were productive. Rich.
My first thing I give a shout out to Mike Pettit because I have never gone to one of these before, so he encouraged me to go and do something for myself and my business, so it was awesome. My biggest takeaway was when you look through the schedule, how many people from our office were there. Fred Tischauer, Jeff Cohn, Andy Cuny, you. But
as speaker at breakout sessions, and how much value and knowledge we have in our own office that we can count on and lean on and take advantage of that maybe we take for granted. So, but just the wealth of knowledge we have and how well respected we are in the marketplace. When you listen to the awards and it was fun cheering everyone on. Not that I got any awards, but it was great to be a part of something that big. Scott, biggest takeaway?
basically, it was in the opening session. It was observed a great deal of focus directed at women of success, demonstrating extraordinary perseverance, strength, determination, and character. And that's actually gender neutral. That goes everywhere, but the two main speakers put a lot of emphasis on that, and that was really inspiring and very good.
Megan.
For me, the biggest takeaway was to go all in. So I think that in this business, every day is a roller coaster, and I think that just give it your all every single day and just keep on going because it can be a little bit of a wild ride. But
Megan and Scott and Trevor, you've been before.
Sure.
Did you feel the energy level was a little higher here than it has been in the past? Almost 6,000 people showed up this year, which is the biggest attendance they've had going all the way back to pre-crash in 2008. So I felt the energy level was here the highest I maybe ever felt, and if not, it's a good 15 years back that it would have been this high.
My favorite's the university sessions. I like the breakout sessions. I like the tips, the tricks, the open sharing. You heard in the last panel that you don't just get general information and broad brushstrokes. You actually get websites, and you get usable tools, and you get strategies, you get phrases, and different things you can actually go implement the very next day.
I hope, because I've had so many of these conversations, if I got this wrong, I apologize, but I think you and your team sat down in advance, looked at the sessions, the university breakout sessions there's going to be, and it was conquer and divide. That you're going to go here and you're going to go there. And I love that theory, and I would encourage those of you going in the future, get together with 2 or 3 other people. Because here's the problem. You can't get to all the university sessions because there's always 2 or 3 going at the same time. And get 2 or 3 other people that you can come back and then share with each other, here was my takeaways from this, and this is my takeaways with that. And I think that's powerful. It allows you to get much more out of that than you would otherwise. And I always tell people, right, there was a lot of drinking, and I think Vegas probably even encourages that more than other places, is I want you to go there and have fun. I want you to network, right? But I do want you to go and get inspired, and I want you to take serious and take time if you're going to go there and spend money to do this, to go to these university sessions, because they've got some very talented people speaking there, and it's impossible if you go to 3 or 4 of these to not come back with some knowledge that's going to help you be more productive as you move forward. So general sessions, top takeaways. What was your favorite part of the general sessions, each one of you?
I probably would have been Randy Zuckerberg. I loved the passion that she talked about in the inception of Facebook. Specifically, like they would do hackathons. I thought, well, that's cool. We could do a market-a-thon. Just vary ourselves and figure out different things, or do a listing-a-thon or whatever. So I really liked her speech in the general session.
Go ahead.
Allison Levine, she was, her story was amazing. A lot of it was about perseverance, but most of it was about perception is not reality. The journey to get to the top of Mount Everest, they did it twice. Well, tried twice, got there once. But just the conditioning and the process, the work that goes behind the scenes to get to the top. And I think we forget the work that it takes to be excellent in the marketplace. So, I mean, just the how many times they had to go up the mountain and come back down to recondition, go back up a little further, come back down. This story was not what you thought it would be. And I think that we forget that it's easy to see the success when we have good luck, but we forget about all the hard work that goes behind the scenes.
Right. She really talked about the mental mindset you needed and the teamwork it took. And so what I never knew, for those of you who don't know this, they go to base camp, which takes a long time, and then at base camp they go up to stage 1, and then they come back down. They have to go up to stage 1, then up to stage 2, and then they come back down. Because of the altitude, their body's got to adjust to this process. So the first time she went up there, when you get up to the last, 1,000 feet or so, it's take a step, take 10 to 15 breaths. So you can breathe, because otherwise you're going to die. Take another step. Right? She was 200 feet. She was 200 feet from the top. And a storm was coming in, and she had to make a decision on her team to head back down the mountain. She's been up there, what was it, 3 months or 6 months? It was an obscene amount of time. 200 feet from the top. And she's got to make a decision because she's got all these other people's lives in her hands. She goes to a cocktail party with a friend of hers. Her friend introduces her as the person that's climbed Mount Everest and all the other summits. And they're like, really? And she's talking about, and they find out that she actually didn't get the last 200 feet. He's like, oh, so you didn't really count Mount Everest. She's like, she was pissed. She's like, what do you do? He says, well, I work at JP Morgan. Oh, you're the CEO of JP Morgan? No, I'm a financial analyst. Oh, so you don't really work at JP Morgan? I climbed that damn mountain. So I just loved her attitude. But she did go back later because a friend of hers passed away in her honor and made it to the top. Same thing. She saw some people coming down the mountain where she's about a couple hundred feet, and she says, I'm going. So it's very, very cool and very tough mindset to do that. Top takeaways from General Sessions.
Just generally speaking, it was the branding, the underlying message of branding. Maximize your connection with Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices and Berkshire Hathaway here in Omaha especially, and set yourself apart from the masses by building your own personal brand and continue to attach it to BHHS.
Mine was the same as Rich's. I think that she was just a phenomenal speaker and just, success is daily, not in a day kind of thing, and just remaining positive and having, a greater goal for your outlook versus just your, daily, what's it going to take to get there kind of thing.
I feel like in the general sessions, one of the things I got last year and also this year was you get a moment to like zoom out a little bit. So much what we do day to day is what's next, where's the next client, where's the next listing, what's happening next, and to look around and see all the people that are sitting all around you, hear some of the higher level national conversations or even concerns or strategies, and then hear the different stories that people are telling about general success. It slows you down, it steps you back, and I think it honestly it makes you, it changes you with how you sit in your next appointments. In the last panel, there was mention of the different confidence and things like that. And I don't know that you even know it necessarily happens to you, but I can feel different when I know that I'm part of something that's bigger and has more of a thought and more of a purpose and more of a strategy and more of a next 10, 15, 20 year type mentality. And I'm just sitting there doing my listing presentation, but I'm operating differently because of it.
One of the things no one's talked about in the general sessions that I continue to think, if you're a competitive person, is cool, is they have the top 100 people in the network, 47,000 people in the top 100, and I think that number started at 1. Diane, what were you? You were 139 transactions, and I think so 136 was the transactions. We had 3 agents between 130 and 136 that fell right outside the top 100. And so I know one of them sitting up here, and she's like, oh, we're making that next year. But just to see, and then to see what it took to be in the top 10, and to hear those numbers of other people and see what they're doing, and say there's no reason I can't do that myself. And then to say for top 10 individuals, which I think top 10 individuals like 126 transactions for the top 10. But I think that's a cool thing to see what if we get outside of our little world in Omaha, what are other numbers that other people are doing? And quite honestly, we compared very favorable compared to other people across. Yes, Don, you have a question?
Yeah, speaking of rankings, do we know, or do you know, or does anybody know where BHHS ranks as a network in the country?
I do not know where. There's two things. HomeServices of America owns 40-some companies, one of which we are. About half of those are in the Berkshire Hathaway network. I don't know where Berkshire Hathaway network ranks in the country. Real Trends just came out last week with it's called Real Trends and Riz Media come out every year with their top 500 brokers in the country. HomeServices of America, for the first time ever, was the #1 broker in the United States for closed units, taking over Realogy, which owns a lot of Coldwell Bankers, Sotheby's, Century 21s, Better Homes and Gardens, and so forth. So as a brokerage of what you own, HomeServices of America is now the #1, as of last week, the #1 company in the United States. So I don't know specifically about the network. And we're going to keep trying for this. So university breakout sessions. Trevor, I'm going to start this way and head back that way with you. What's 1 or 2 people that you went to that you really liked, and what were your top takeaways from those?
So like Nico, I didn't actually write down anybody's names. I did go to the sessions. But we did go ziplining at 2 a.m., so that. So from the university sessions, I went to the one, or there was two of them actually. They were talking about the Instagram stories, and I went to one of those, and Kevin went to another one. And when we got together and we compared notes, I mean, the Instagram stories was certainly huge, and doing live video, whether it's Instagram or Facebook. I mean, a lot of talk about that, and so I guess I took a bunch of those. The tip that Nico was talking about with Linktree, you know, on Instagram, how you can only have one link associated with you anywhere. You can't put it in any post, you can't put it in any feed or any story or anything. You have one that's associated with your profile. Linktree basically creates a table of contents menu that you can go customize anytime you want. So if you want to have listings that are up for a while on there, you can. If you want to have an educational link, if you want to have a link to a video to a YouTube something, like you can actually build a table of contents page, and it's whatever you make this one little Linktree link. So that's what that was. I took that away. The video, I went to a bunch of video sessions last year, and then I've been working on video with the team and such since. More on that. This year, there was stats of 200% and 300% increased click-through rates if you're putting email videos, which I hadn't really thought about that. I thought about the social media outlets, but if you're doing emails also, or a newsletter or something, you might as well do a video picture in the middle of your email.
Wasn't there a lot of talk about video to text also in some of these sessions?
With the captionings, I heard them mention rev.com, the last one. Is that what you mean?
Well, I know I've heard a couple people about personal messages is let's do a video to text, introduce yourself for an internet lead or something like that.
Yeah. And honestly, we do that a lot. We've done that for 3, 4, 5 months, something like that. Just the same thing that you would text somebody. In fact, what we do is we record a video and we send it, and it's just a hi, my name is whatever. One of the cool little ideas was to keep a pack of note cards with you or sticky notes and literally write the person's first name on it. Hold that up to your camera, then hit record, back that away, and start talking. Because then the first opening screenshot that they see embedded in the text message is a sticky note of their name.
Yes.
And they know it's custom and not something pre-recorded. And so then you can record your video and, hi, whatever you're going to say, I hope you're having a great day, whatever. And then we've made a practice of following that with a text message. It's almost identical to what we just said in the video, just because the video gets their attention, but if they are at work and they can't watch the video right then, at least now they can see what you say.
Right. Yeah, I've heard a lot that text over video is important for that same reason. A lot of people at work probably shouldn't. I hope none of our employees are in the room, are watching videos, and so that allows them. But you have so many people that have earbuds in also right now. Mm-hmm. So, Megan, top takeaways from university sessions. Who was 1 or 2 university sessions, and what were your biggest takeaways from those?
I can't remember his name, but I went to the one on communication and using good words. So I thought he was really awesome because he basically talked about creating a great customer experience, always going above and beyond. Communication is key, so using the power of the right words, less words, but more impactful words. So use only 7 words to get to the point, speak on purpose, with purpose, and just, really using your words to get the message across in the most impactful way. And then there was a book, it was Exactly What to Say, and then also another one, 5 stars. I don't know the authors, but, and then a couple key phrases that he said was, it's in your best financial interest to use me and our company. Let me show you why, and then go through why. And then I can save you time and money. Let me show you how, and then go through and show you how. And then I went to Sherry Johnson, and she was awesome. She really got down to the bottom of creating every opportunity. Use every opportunity to create a buyer or a seller. So if you're talking with your group of friends or whatever, or if you're leveraging each listing or each buyer to create an additional opportunity for you, and keep track of all of those, because if you keep track of just people that you've had conversations with, and you can see, okay, they're looking for 140 and they're looking for 180, pretty soon you have $12 million worth of business that you didn't even know that you have, and keeping track of that and doing it that way.
Sherry's awesome.
Yeah, I love her.
Scott.
Basically, Alan Dalton was my go-to guy. I don't even like him. But boy, he was not as smart as they get. He's really, really good. He talked about various things about the listing presentations. Do not compare their home to their neighbors' homes. You could inadvertently insult them. It could be like comparing their sweet, precious children to their unruly neighbor's kids. Because remember the emotional attachment everybody has to that home, and you're coming at it like a business deal when their emotions are involved, and that's where you can get yourself in trouble really quick. Listing presentations should be referred to as pre-marketing evaluations. You can never praise a home in a way that exceeds what they think of it. Do not let a homeowner criticize their home or say it is outdated. Defend the home. Never ask why they are selling. You may become the buyer's agent.
Can you guys hear him in the back? Okay, good. Just want to make sure.
Apologize for other agents that may have asked that same question. It's an ethical thing, so that kind of puts you on the right side of the ethical equation. Pricing, if your home sells only due to the pricing, you should get out of the business. You always want to get your seller top dollar. Well, that's duh. Never allow a seller to disenfranchise you over price. Do not give it a try at the seller's price. If the seller asks you, what's your fee? Answer like you're telling time. Like, what time is it? It's 4 o'clock. What's your fee? 7%. Same. Easy. Nothing sells like the truth. And that's my biggest takeaway from the whole convention.
Mic
All right.
drop.
Well done. Jeff Lobb, SparkTankMedia.com. I went to one of his classes. I tagged along with Bill, so I'm probably still in your notes. But anyway, he was awesome. Plus, he's kind of a short guy, so I liked it. But
guys,
hey, careful. IPAs, income-producing activities, not the beers, but the value of knowing your numbers, your competition's numbers, your farming numbers, where you do the most of your business. Show more, tell less. Hashtag all your listings, talked a lot about hashtags. Hashtag all your listings to a specific hashtag so that you can pull up all your marketing and be consistent and use that in your listing presentations. Obviously, I know jack about hashtags, so there's a lot for me to learn. So I was overwhelmed with all that. Go deep, not wide. So be the expert in something you know and love, rather than trying to be the expert of everything. Leverage every listing. So when you do get a listing, the signage, the sign writers, the just listed cards, and when it sells, do the marketing afterwards so that you can get that next deal or deals or contacts out of that same transaction. Have 7 streams of leads of referrals. So when you're getting leads from one, you may not be getting it from another. So having 7 sources, whether it be your hairdresser, your doctor, your school, your kids, whatever. Let the number of rooftops motivate you. And be proactive, not reactive to the market and its condition. So instead of talking about no listings, what are we doing to get listings? I've got 3 more pages here. Hold on. I'm taking all the Bill's. I got Bill's notes here too, real quick. The market shifts, and it's never a bad market. So be aware of the market and pivot on what the market is telling us. But it's never a bad market. Kind of a neat way of looking at that. And market yourself more.
Some of that stuff I was going to talk about, but one of the things to expand on is 7 lead sources. He talked more about 7 different spheres, like a group from church, or a group of your high school buddies, or a group of your college buddies, and so forth. Not just 7 different people. But the other thing that struck me about Jeff was, and many of us maybe stop at Starbucks every morning on the way in. You're not going to sell a house in the Starbucks drive-thru. But if you get out of your car and walk in, you very well might meet somebody or chat somebody, in line and so forth. So that was something. Be where the people are. He even talked about having a logo shirt, and then on his back of his collar, it said Jeff sells houses. So everybody in back of the line from him could see, hey, there's that Jeff guy that sells houses and so forth. probably and I went to Terry Watson. Everybody loves Terry Watson. Many people have seen him here in Omaha. But one of the things that hit me there was something new that I'd never seen before. He put something up from Dan Sullivan, who, if you haven't followed his podcasts, he's awesome. He's a 10X, Dan Sullivan. It said, if you spend all day putting out fires, you're probably the arsonist. So, I really thought about that. I thought, okay.
Say that again. I think you need to say that again.
If you spend all day putting out fires, you're probably the arsonist. So I set about making my transactions fireproof. So what can I do now to prevent that fire from happening down the road, whether it's leaving the packet for the appraiser, or any number of things that we can always do. Sometimes, we of course can't foresee everything, but that was something that really hit home. And then the other thing Terry Watson talked about was, don't just give good service, make your transaction an experience that they're going to talk about, because people can get good service anywhere, but to just make it a downright memorable experience of working with you. That was probably my biggest takeaways from the session.
I'm going to give each one of you 30 to 45 seconds for your last summary, your last thoughts on the convention.
Last thoughts was probably another, to kind of wrap it all up, that in a non-business session was I went to the Soul Pancake Lady, and I thought that was very interesting. For Soul Pancake, many of you maybe seen the videos like Kid President, some of those. They're always uplifting and so forth, and her main, I guess, mantra was, there's joy in everything. Even if you don't think it's joyful, you can figure out a way to find joy in virtually everything you do, even the problems you're facing, and the accolades you're getting. I mean, of course, there's joy in the easy things, but there's always also joy in the tough things. And I thought that was very interesting, and that stuck with me too.
First one, will you go back next year?
Oh, absolutely.
Good. That was the right answer. All right. You don't know the answer, it's always scary. Rich.
You know what? There's so many takeaways and tons of knowledge, but probably the biggest thing is my kind of takeaway was, we have a room full of awesome parents. I know a bunch of them, a couple of them right beside me. But the passion we put into our kids and our families on a daily basis, we would walk through fire. I think we need to take that same passion and convert that into our business and put that same passion into our own livelihoods and our education and our knowledge and our confidence in what we do and in our trade. So I will do my dangest to get back there next year and be more organized and get some more sessions. But it was a great experience.
And I think it's a great point. Anything that's important to us, really, we need to attack right with the right mindset and a passion. So great takeaway. Scott, are you going to read something? I figured that's the reason I gave you the last takeaway.
And I'm passionate about it. So I
know you are. I know you are.
Final takeaway: stay focused. Keep your head in the game. Promote your brand. Use the tools provided. Embrace analytics, algorithms, and change. Know your craft and your people. Add today's technology to yesterday's basics. Hard work, honesty, determination, perseverance, strength, and character. And then be able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. Scott Knudsen, Realtor. Extraordinary service, exceptional communication, exemplary results, and an exciting journey. Thank you.
Is that going to be a Facebook Live later? Stand up. Now stand up. That was mean, Ralph. That was mean.
I think it's just get excited, be passionate about what you're saying. Agents who add the most value get hired. And you learned a ton here this morning, and I think it's take 2 or 3 things and implement those 2 or 3 things. Don't try and do everything that you've heard. You can get overwhelmed and then you're going to do nothing. So pick 2 or 3 things and do those things really well.
Perfect. Wrap us up.
So last year was my first year, and this year was my second, obviously. But so last year, I've been an agent for 6 years here, And I had my impressions of what the conferences were or would be, and so I did not go to them the first 4 times. I don't know, I didn't talk to anybody, I didn't see value, I didn't understand. Last year I went just to more or less test it out, and I'm really glad I did. Obviously I went back a second time, and I'll go next year. And I know my style and how I am in this world. I'm an advanced decision maker. So if I'm stuck in a place where somebody is wanting me to make a decision right then and in the moment on the fly, well, I feel like I'm being sold to or sold on or sold at. And so a lot of the times I'll just buck against it out of sheer principle. And so I guess my recommendation from my experience is it is worth it. There's a ton of value. I mean, both panel sessions, you can hear all the different personalities and all the different places and businesses that no matter what point in your career you're at, there is something in a general session or a university or even some relationship building or whatever. So I guess I feel like regardless of what place you're at, the value's there. And so for me, I guess I think in terms of, all right, well, we have a busy season that happens typically in the summer, right? So that you can afford to pay for it. So if you decide in April to pay for it by June, July, and know that you're going, I mean, that's how I have to make decisions and go. So I'd say you put together a plan and figure yourself out if that's how it works for you. But if the value's there and you want to go, then decide beforehand, and then you're not being, self-sold at.
Right, so we're over time. So let's give these guys a big hand first of all. We'll get, you guys can sit down, or you can stay up here as far as I'm concerned. There's some other takeaways we'll get to you, but as Megan said, go look at your notes, put them in priority, pick a couple things, implement those, and then go back and share other things. We're going to have our first company barbecue of the year, Thursday, April 25th. Brooke is telling me we're going to have a dunk tank. That doesn't seem like a good idea to me. So we will continue to talk about that. So put that on your calendars if you could. Thursday, April 25th. I'd love to have you there. That is here in the parking lot. Lots of food and lots of fun. There's too much other stuff to go.
Good guy work.
Good guy work. Who has it? Who has it?
Big deal.
Who? Angie. Can you come up here and give that away?
What about the Jewel, the fundraiser that they're doing this weekend? Can you talk about
Yes. Can you stand up? Because I was not in that meeting. You were.
Brooke, do you know?
Yeah.
Brooke, can you stand up and talk about that? Yes, from the flood victims. So I apologize.
Mary McKenna.
Speak. You got people out there.
Mary McKenna, who owns the Jewel. I'll send out the location, but it's a jazz.
Great place.
Jazz blues. Down at the Marriott. She is having. I'll send out the information right after this meeting, but she's having all proceeds go to the flood victims, and I'll send out information.
Yeah. So we're matching $5,000 to Salvation Army. The National Association of Realtors is giving a $500,000 matching fund. That I know that the state of Florida's already gave $50,000. I know the Omaha area boards gave $50,000. Arizona, I think, gave 20-some thousand. It looks like they're going to hit that $50,000. So there's a lot of people doing a lot of things. We'll follow up on the flood victim stuff. Yes, Nancy, because I know you were kind of in the heart of what was happening out there.
There are a lot of flood victims, but how do you get on every day? I see all over, if you go to the valley, flood meetings, you'll see all the hurting people, but they aren't getting the money. Like FEMA gave one person $1,000, they lost everything.
FEMA gives like $1,000 a person, yeah.
Yeah, but Salvation Army, from what I understand, gives almost everything, but Red Cross is not going to do anything.
So Salvation Army, so what Nancy said, which is what we found out, the Salvation Army seems to be the best suited to help the largest amount of people. The Red Cross has not helped as many people. That's what we kind of found in our research, which is the reason we picked the Salvation Army as our matching fund. If you give money to someone else, we're still giving $5,000 to Salvation Army.
So all this money that you're talking about, how do people get to that? Like I had 4 of my rentals got bad, but I'm not going after money because I can afford to fix them up. But there's people out on the street. There was a doctor from West Shores who made $25,000 and walked up to individuals and handed them $400 here, $500 there. But I always see all this money, like you're just saying, who's donating it. And but how do people?
Let's do a little research. We've got a committee together on this. Let's do a little research to find that out. Because that's a great question, Denise. And then we do have to wrap this up. I
apologize. One that the Nebraska Association gave too. So Kyle Schultz posted how you get the money and you apply for it. I think they're giving $1,000 for a house payment. That's the one that the board is giving and Women's Council gave money to. So try that. Yeah.
All right. Good girl.
The Good Girl Award. Thank you, Heather Starmer. I had to step out the moment that she was going to announce this last month. So, of course, the seller called, so I wanted to thank her publicly. And it's really kind of a huge thing that we get to honor people that touch us, you know, in a way, rather than just because they're sales or something. So that's awesome. Thank you. This person is often mentioned as so-and-so's daughter, rather than that being her, you know, having just a single name. She has a whole name of so-and-so's daughter, so-and-so. She is a light. She's always smiling. She always has a good attitude about everything. She, most of the time, is working behind the scenes for other people. She works on marketing for her team. She works on marketing for the Women's Council. And she does a lot of behind-the-scenes things for groups that touch her heart dearly. So I wanted to say thank you to my dear friend, who is, I think, in her office right now. I think she just stepped in. So thank you, J.D. Erb's daughter, Desiree O'Shea.
Laundry stuff that we didn't get through, guys. Let's get out. The market is picking up. Let's be intentional. Let's nurture relationships. Let's continue to prospect. Let's time block. Let's have a great week. Thank you, guys.